And following in another military vehicle and Jeep is Senator Ted Cruz and family.
And we saw Ted Cruz in New York at the American League Championship Series. He was rooting on the Astros rather.
You know, there are times where we really should just put politics aside and allow sports to bring us together. I'm sorry, I can't even finish that sentence. Ted Cruz sucks and you should boo him. And by the way, if you had any doubt that Ted Cruz has a humiliation fetish, might I remind you that the guy showed up at Yankee Stadium where, surprise, surprise, he was met with an avalanche of boos. And I mean, look, just some life advice here. If you are Ted Cruz, you do not show up in the Bronx unless you revel in your own humiliation or that starve for attention that you'll put yourself front and center in a place where everyone hates you just so that you can wallow in the victimhood afterwards. Or do whatever you want, I really don't care. And look, I know that it's probably easy to look at this and just write it off as the usual tribalism, but Ted Cruz isn't just getting booed because he's a Republican. Ted Cruz is getting booed because he's trying to impose his religious edicts onto the rest of the country. Cruz wants to take away reproductive rights. He wants to relax gun laws that put our kids in danger in their own classrooms. He's against the ACA, which afforded healthcare access to tens of millions of Americans. He's against combating climate change. He wants to abolish the Department of Education, said that, quote, engaging in homosexual conduct is a choice, opposes the legalization of marijuana, and opposes raising the minimum wage. Ted Cruz coordinated with the Trump team to overturn the election on January 6th. Pretending that Cruz is getting booed solely because he's a Republican ignored the avalanche of legitimate reasons why he's actually deserving of the attention that he got. And look, to be honest, I don't give a shit what happens to Ted Cruz. If he wants to stand in the middle of Times Square and let people pie him in the face so he can get off on whatever humiliation fetish he's got, it's a free country. But while I have your attention, I'm going to put it to good use. We are voting right now in midterms, and I want to make what's at stake abundantly clear. If Ted Cruz's party takes power, they will introduce a nationwide abortion ban. And yes, Joe Biden can veto it, but he can't veto it in the states. And beyond that, the whole point of a Republican majority in Congress is that they will set themselves up to refuse to certify any election in 2024 where a Republican doesn't win. So while Biden could veto a nationwide abortion ban now, what about if Republicans coordinate to reinstall Trump or any other Republican in 2024? Because I can guarantee you that that person will sign a nationwide abortion ban into law. And Republicans won't just focus on abortion. They'll eliminate Medicare and Medicaid and Social Security. They'll roll back same-sex marriage. They'll work to ban contraception and birth control. They'll ban the acknowledgement of the existence of LGBTQ Americans, with more Don't Say Gay laws passed across the country. These aren't guesses. They are reflections on what Republicans have actually tangibly done in the last 2 years. So I know I sound like a broken record, but I'm happy to be a broken record. Please find 3 people who didn't vote in 2020, who might have just turned 18 or 19, or who even voted for Republicans in the last election, but now recognize that women should have autonomy over their own bodies. Find 3 people and make sure that they vote. We all have those people in our families or groups of friends. Those are the people who will make the difference in this election. Remember, in Wisconsin in 2020, Biden won by 3 votes per precinct. That's all. Just 3 votes per precinct, in case you were ever under the impression that your vote won't count. So please do your part, be responsible for your circle, and make sure that the Ted Cruzes of the world aren't anywhere near the levers of power. Before you go, if you enjoyed this video and want to see more, please make sure to subscribe to my channel. You can click the thumbnail right here on this screen. And if you want to support my work even further, the best way is to subscribe to my podcast, No Lie with Brian Tyler Cohen. There you can check out my interviews with major players in the world of politics, including President Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris, Pete Buttigieg, Elizabeth Warren, Katie Porter, Jamie Raskin, and so many more. Plus other interviews that live exclusively on the podcast. That link is also right here on this screen, or just search No Lie with Brian Tyler Cohen wherever you listen to podcasts.